So we've already learned how to add fractions, but what about when we have to add mixed numbers, like this? You're probably thinking, hey, I'll just add the fractions together and then add the whole numbers together, and I've got it. It's 8 7/5. Not quite, but you're close, and today I'll show you how to solve these problems quickly and easily. So let's get to it. Welcome to Grip EDU. I'm Mr. D, and today we're talking about adding mixed numbers. Now, before we get too far, I want to say that today we'll be looking at some problems where the denominators are already the same. As you may remember, you can't add fractions unless the denominators are the same. So if you're solving problems today that have different denominators, you got to go through those steps and make sure that those denominators are the same before you do the rest. If you need help on how to do that, click the link on the screen here. Let's go back to the problem from earlier. We added the fractions and the whole numbers, and we got 8 7/5, and that isn't exactly right, is it? The reason why is because you have a mixed number and an improper fraction at the exact same time, and that is a math no-no. You can't mix those two number types together. It's kind of like ranch dressing and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Both are great, just not together. I'm going to show you what to do to resolve this problem, and then I'll show you a shortcut that works even better. So first, what you need to do is break apart the whole number and the fraction, almost like they're a couple and they need to break up. What we'll do is solve the improper fraction by turning it back into a mixed number, and then we can get these two back together. Let's solve 7/5. 5 goes into 7 one time. That's our whole number. And there'd be 2 more to get up to 7, so 2 becomes the numerator. And of course, the 5 stays the same. Remember, solving improper fractions is just division. So 7/5 has now become 1 2/5. And now we can get the 1 2/5 back together with the 8 from earlier. We'll just need to add those two together. The numbers add up to become 9 2/5. So that's one way that you can solve these problems, where you get a mixed number and an improper fraction at the same time. Break them up, solve the improper fraction, bring them back together. Or you can do this little tip. Now, this only works for adding mixed numbers, okay? So don't try this unless you're doing just adding mixed numbers, all right? So what you want to do is you want to take that 8 7/5. You're going to add 1 to the 8, and then you subtract the fraction numbers, as in 7 minus 5, and that becomes your numerator. So 8 7/5 becomes 9 2/5. Again, that trick is to add 1 more to the whole number and subtract the fraction numbers to get your numerator. Now, shortcuts are cool and all, but how does this one actually work? Well, let's back up and look again at this problem. When you look at the fraction part of the answer, you can see the improper fraction, and that means that that fraction amount is more than 1, okay? 7/5 is more than 1, right? Because how many fifths would make one whole? 5/5, right? 5/5 is the same as 1. Really, any fraction where the numerator and denominator are the same is equal to 1. So basically what you're doing here is you're taking away 1, or 5/5, from 7/5 to get to 2/5. And that 1 that you took away, we're adding it onto the whole number. So that's how the shortcut actually works. All right, you want to try another one? Okay, here we go. 5 2/8 plus 6 7/8. All right, let's do the shortcut this time. Add the fractions, that's 9/8, and now add the whole numbers, that's 11. We've got an answer that has a mixed number and an improper fraction, so let's use that shortcut. We'll add 1 more to the 11 to make 12, and then we'll subtract the fraction numbers, 9 minus 8, to get 1, and the denominator stays the same. Now, we could do the other strategy where we break them apart and solve the improper fraction and bring them back together. We could do that, sure. But the most important thing is that you end up at the right answer. So you can use whatever strategy you like. It's like this. If McDonald's was giving out free fries to anyone who goes there, it doesn't matter which streets you take to get there. As long as you get there, you're fine. So let's practice some of these on the whiteboard. Grab a paper and pencil, and let's get started. First, we'll add the fractions. 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4. Then we'll add the whole numbers. 7 plus 3 is 10. So now we have 10 and 6/4. Are we done? Nope. We have a mixed number and an improper fraction at the same time. So let's use our shortcut. We'll add 1 to the whole number, and that makes it 11. And then we'll subtract the fraction numbers and do 6 take away 4, which is 2. The denominator will stay the same. We now have 11 and 2/4, which we need to simplify. 2/4 is the same as 1/2, so we'll get to our real final answer of 11 and 1/2. Now for this one, we'll change things up just slightly. We'll add up the fractions, which gets us to 12 over 12. And then we'll add the whole numbers, which gives us 14. So we have 14 and 12/12. And that's not quite the right way to say it or to write it. So what do? Well, we can use the shortcut, but it'd be easier to just remember that whenever the numerator and denominator are the same, that fraction is worth 1. What we actually have here is a 14 and a 1. And those two together make 15. And that's the answer. So if you end up with an answer where the numerator and denominator match, just add 1 more to the whole number and you're done. For more math tips and tricks, or for the 1-minute refresher version of this skill, click the links that you see on the screen here. Until next time, I'm Mr. D. Thanks for joining me.